Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this video. I'm going to start a new series, a $50 Jeep mod series, where all mods I do to my Jeep are going to be $50 or less, and you guys can do them too, and they're going to be some pretty sweet mods. For the first mod that I'm going to be doing is involves two products. It involves these Mictuning rocker switches for your light bars, and a housing panel for that by Daystar. Now, basically what this does, it just houses all your rocker switches in one place, so it gives it a clean look, and it also gives a pretty factory look too. So it's gonna be pretty sweet, and hopefully you guys can do it too.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna open up the box and show you guys what's inside. Now this is relatively cheap. It goes for about $17.50 on Amazon, and for a product that kind of houses everything like this, that's actually pretty good deal. So I've already opened this up. There's not too much inside. You get a Daystar sticker, which is pretty cool, that you can add to your Jeep if you'd like. You get a pretty good manual that's in color. So here's the actual housing panel. As you can see, I already tried to cut into it, but I just wanted to wait for the actual video to show you guys how to do that. So that is from me. The texture on it is much like that of the stock interior of the JK. Now this goes right below the gear shifter, kind of where that little mesh part is, where you can kind of put stuff. So it's not taking away anything vital. It's just replacing something that's there. So pretty cool thing about this is that the panels, even though it may not look like it on the front, you can kind of see the outlines of where the switches are going to go. But it's not it's not very traceable to when you're using like a Dremel or like a X-Acto knife. You actually go on the back right here, and if you can see that, the switch panels are right there. Now you can't really pop them out with your thumb. You have to take like an X-Acto knife, like I said, and start cutting them out. And once you do that, this should pop out, and it should be a pretty clean cut. So I'm gonna start doing that, and we'll get back to you later. Okay, so that actually went pretty easy, much easier than I thought. One thing to note when you are cutting this is watch this centerpiece right here, because I did see it start to flex when I was cutting it. So if you snap that, you can easily just reglue it with some super glue or epoxy, put it back in there, but just be careful when you're doing that. I just used an X-Acto knife. I thought I was gonna have to use my Dremel, but I ended up not having to. So now I'm just gonna put the switch in, just make sure it fits. Okay, so I have the switches installed. They are a little bit close together, but that's okay, because that just means I can get more of them in if I want to do like another couple switches or an accessory port. It's really up to me, and all I have to do is just pop this out and cut these out, and I have an extra port right there for me. So I already have them started wiring right here. Next thing to do is go down to the Jeep and actually get this installed and get the wires hooked up to the existing light bar. Okay, to show you guys what we're going to be doing before we actually head out to the vehicle, we're going to take our switch right here, and we're going to cut off the head of it right here. And then once you do that, you're going to see that there's going to be 3 wires exposed. This one's going to connect to the black wire on your rocker switch. This one's going to be connected to the battery red wire, and this one's going to be connected to your accessory or your light bar red wire. And then we're going to make that connection with these heavy-duty female connectors, and these should be able just to plug right into your rocker switches. Okay, so before we can actually get this panel right here out of its place, we first need to lift off the center console portion right here. Okay, so what I just did was put the key in the ignition, and I put the gear in second gear, and then I put it in 4 high, and I was able to actually just pull up on the center console part and use a pry tool to get this undone. And then once you do that, this should just be able to come right out. And that's the piece that we're going to be replacing with our Daystar switch panel. And in here, you can see that where my previous lights are right here. I got to go disconnect the negative battery terminal, and when I come back in, I can start cutting the wires. Okay, so I just got all the female connectors attached to my previous light bar switch, And now what we have to do is take 2 of the pins from the previous panel and put them on the Daystar panel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so just a little tip for removing the little clips. Use a flathead screwdriver, a small one, and lift straight up. Don't pull back, because that will just break the clips. And once you have them on, they simply just slide down and lock into place. There you go. Now we can connect our male connectors to our female connectors, and we can put the negative terminal back on the battery, and we can see if it works. Okay, so I have all my rocker switch male connectors connected to my light bar harness female connectors. Just follow the same schematic as I said. Now putting this in is going to be a little tough because for some reason I can't get this to fully come up. So I'm going to have to put the camera down again and just slide her in, and I'll show you guys what it looks like after that. So with everything reinstalled, I'm able to turn on the lights, and they work just fine. The lights are on continuously even when the key's not in the ignition, and that's something that you can just change very easily just by pulling out one of the wires. Okay, so fast forward a couple weeks. I've actually had this in my vehicle for some time now, and I can tell you some things that I like and don't like about it. To start off with the negative aspect, the Daystar panel that I got, for some reason, the bottom feet on the panel are supposed to slide into 2 previous holes from where the original panel came from. Now, for some reason, this won't happen on mine, so I'm not able to slide them in all the way, and this is causing it to not give it a flush look, and I can't push the top part of the panel into its place. So what I actually had to do was cut off the bottom feet, and then I was able to put the top portion into its place. Now I thought that this wasn't going to give me a very lined up look, but it actually worked out to my advantage, is that I was able to put the center console portion back into its place, and I actually pushed the lower portion of where I cut the feet off up against the original interior, and it gives it a nice look anyways. So that was a little disappointing that I actually had to cut off the feet on it, but it ended up working out in the end. Some things I do like about it is that it's a very factory look. It was really cheap, and it's something that it was $17, and for under the $50 rule that I have, you're able to add 2 or 3 switches, depending on what switches you go with. But I was able to add 2, and I still have there's a little bit of money left to add in another for it. So it's definitely a cool mod that I did. I'm very impressed with it, and it looks really good. So if you have any questions, just comment them in the comment section below. And if you have any other suggestions for upcoming videos, please let me know. I do have another one coming out where it's going to show you how to make your own GoPro stand, which is going to be pretty sweet because it looks, again, like it just came out of the factory, or it looks like something that should be on display at Best Buy or at a sporting goods store. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helped you. If it has, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you the next time.